Hi, I'm Smriti, and today we are going to read chapter 3 of The Little Prince. It took me a long time to find out where he came from. The little prince who asked me so many questions never seemed to hear mine. It is thanks to the odd words here and there that everything was revealed to me. For instance, when he saw my aeroplane for the first time, I shall not draw my aeroplane, that would be far too complicated for me. He asked me, "What is that object?" "It is not an object. It flies. It is an aeroplane. It is my aeroplane." And I was proud to be able to tell him that I could fly. He cried out then, "What? You dropped down from the sky?" "Yes," I replied modestly. "Oh, that is funny." And the little prince broke into a lovely peal of laughter which annoyed me no end. I like my misfortunes to be taken seriously. "So you too come from the sky? From which planet?" I immediately perceived a ray of light in the mystery of his presence and at once questioned him. "So you have come from another planet?" But he didn't reply. He nodded gently whilst gazing at my aeroplane. "It is true that on that you can't have come from very far away." And he sank into a long reverie. Then taking my sheep out of his pocket, he contemplated his treasure. You can imagine how my curiosity was aroused by the half-confidence about the other planets. So I had tried to find out a little more. "Where do you come from, my little fellow?" "Where is this?" "Where I live, of which you speak." "Where do you want to take my sheep?" After a thoughtful silence, he replied, "What I like about the box you have given me is that he can use it on his house at night." "Of course, and if you are good, I shall also give you a rope to tie him up during the day, and a post to tie him to." But the little prince seemed shocked by my proposal. "Tie him up? What a funny idea! But if you do not tie him up, he will wander off and get lost." My friend burst out laughing again. "But where would he go?" "Anywhere, just straight ahead." Whereupon the little prince remarked gravely, "It wouldn't matter. Everything is so small where I live." And perhaps, a little wistfully, he added, "Straight ahead of oneself, one cannot go very far." So this is the third chapter, and here is the painting that the narrator has drawn, and also this one, as he says, "I cannot draw my aeroplane." Chapter 3 is also really interesting because we got to know that the little prince might not belong to the earth and he might belong to some another planet, and the little prince is very astonished. He's surprised to see an aeroplane for the first time, so he's curious to know about it, and then the narrator tells him that it is his aeroplane. He's proud to tell that he can fly, but the little prince just replies that this is funny. He thinks of aeroplanes and him being able to fly as something funny, because to a child it can be a funny. He's full of innocence. He does not know about machines or vehicles or things that can fly. So this provides an insight that he might not belong to the earth. He is from some another planet. And there's a very beautiful line that I read, where the narrator says, "I like my misfortunes to be taken seriously." When the child laughs when he is told about the aeroplane, he just laughs. So the narrator says, "I like my misfortunes to be taken seriously." So him being a pilot, him being able to fly an aeroplane is a misfortune for him. And also when later he asks the little prince about his place where he is going to take the sheep, the only thing that the little prince replies is that the box you have drawn, what I like about the box you have given me is that he can use it as his house at night. So he says that his sheep can use this house, this box as a house. So it's like the very imaginative side of a child, the creative angle or the imagination that the child carries with himself. He is also creating the story with the little box that is drawn. And later when the narrator asks him that he can also draw a rope if you want, so that your sheep, you can tie the sheep. But tying a sheep is not something that the little boy wants, because he thinks the chapter ends at the line, straight ahead of oneself one cannot go very far, because the narrator says, tie the sheep so that it does not go away. And then the boy says, where will it go? And the chapter ends at, straight ahead of oneself one cannot go very far. And there's this particular painting, so it tells us that there is a very small place, maybe, or this particular line can be very poetic in some senses, that straight ahead of oneself one cannot go very far, that one cannot go very far wherever. You will just be there where you belong. You can't just disappear from somewhere. You are always there. This is what I think. And yeah, this was the chapter. This was really beautiful. And let's move to the next chapter. But okay, in the next video we will read the next chapter. Bye bye. I hope you loved this chapter.